Who is Julie Jackson and what do you do? When did you first realize that you wanted to be an entrepreneur? How did you get your first customer for that startup then? Julie, are you ready for some quick fire questions? Welcome to the JOD Pod, a micro podcast where we interview CEOs, entrepreneurs, founders, coaches, and authors. Today, we are very lucky to be joined by Julie Jackson, the founder of Zeal Benefits. Julie, great to have you on the show.
Hi, yes, I'm excited to be here.
So for those of us who don't know you, to our listeners on the JOD Pod, who is Julie Jackson and what do you do?
So Julie Jackson, hey everyone, I'm the founder of Zeal Benefits. I am a digital nomad currently living in Austin, Texas. I'm a 3-time entrepreneur. I was a former tech executive at a startup in San Diego, California, where I managed over 25 million in annual revenue for some of our clients. And personally, I'm just on a mission to help find the best people and inspire them to find their purpose and really make a whole lot of profit along the way. Wow,
that's a big challenge there, Julie. Thanks for laying that down. So when did you're building Zeal Benefits at the moment, but when did you first realize that you wanted to be an entrepreneur?
Yes, man, I'm not sure when it hit, but I know I've been pretty innovative my whole life. The first company I started was right after college, Teeny Creative. It's a full-service creative agency where I've done everything from branding and marketing, optimization. I've built out full tech systems for clients. I've even stepped in as a fractional CMO for some smaller startups. That agency is actually still running today. Then years ago, on my 28th birthday, I started a business for fun. In a weekend, I got a hotel room and started a ebook company online just to prove that I could. So that was, the alternative to going out. And then the end of last year, I was actually laid off from my former job where I was VP of operations. And after that, I did some soul searching and realized, you know what? It's time to finally start my own business and really make a difference in the world.
No, that's fantastic. And just to rewind a little bit, was the ebook company then the first real thing that you've built that you started selling to customers and to clients?
The first one was Teeny Creative. So I started taking clients back in 2010, I think.
And how old were you when you did that then?
20, 21, 22, something.
Right, okay, yeah. Fine. And so you did Teeny Creative. And how did you get your first customer for that startup then?
Yeah, so I was interning at the Archaeological Institute of America, and I was doing their event design for their gala, their annual fundraiser in New York City. So I was taking on that client, and at the time, I think by this time it was 2011, I was working at a boutique agency, got really into coding. I learned how to code myself, and then just started taking by referral clients to build their own websites on the side, and then really got involved with conversion optimization and brand strategy, and it just kind of grew from there, all word of mouth.
Wow, that means something though. Like you can't, just starting something and getting referrals for it must mean you're delivering what the client wants, but also you're doing it in such a way that they feel really comfortable referring you into other people. I think it's a big obstacle for a lot of people that are starting out is that they have ideas and they build things and they spend a lot of time doing the busy work around entrepreneurialism, but actually finding customers and finding more customers is actually sometimes more important than the other stuff.
Yes. You can talk about your idea as much as you can, but you actually have to take action. You have to get out there. You have to do the work. If you plan and overplan, I'm the queen of overplanning, but it doesn't really generate results. Like you have to get out there and take action, and it's totally okay if you fail. You're learning along the way. You just got to start.
Fantastic. Anybody listening, Julie has told you, start, take action. You'll learn. You'll pick it up as you go.
Yes.
So tell me more about Zeal Benefits. What are you up to now?
Yes, absolutely. So we're still pretty early stage, but it is a platform that will connect small businesses to local nonprofits in their area to really combat climate change. So one of the things I realized over the last year is that over half of employees right now are thinking about making a career pivot, right? They're lacking purpose in their life. They want to make a difference. They don't know where to start. And we're spending so much time in our companies, we want to know it means something. So I found a way to wire into payroll, let employees donate to local grassroots organizations that are really trying to improve their communities, and let employers match those donations or allow volunteer opportunities so that individuals can really like unite their teams within a company, bring purpose to the workplace, and really invest in where they live so they can actually see the results of their time and donations.
So this is something that happens in big companies a lot. You hear about corporate social responsibility and companies spending money on projects, but you're talking more about, and I'm not meaning to sound cheesy here, but almost like kind of democratizing it within the employees so that they actually can each make a decision about how that money might be spent.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're totally right. Huge corporations already do this. Even medium-sized companies, they'll have CSR programs that are available, and they make a difference. I mean, for employee experience alone, it's huge. And then in terms of creating an impact, like, sure, there's financial incentives for companies to get involved and to donate or create their own like philanthropic initiatives throughout their organizations. But smaller businesses, even though they may not have a whole lot of employees, they're just strapped for resources, right? So HR, usually they are managing all different things within their organization, and adding more to their plate is a huge distraction. So we really want to create a simple and affordable solution that helps smaller companies, I like to say small but mighty companies, come together, and collectively they're able to make a big difference. So really just kind of taking programs that have been proven on a larger scale and just make them more accessible for smaller businesses.
So you think that the people that are struggling with this or have the issue of time is the HR professional, the HR director or the HR manager, where the employees want to be involved in that kind of corporate social responsibility, but it literally takes so many man hours to facilitate those kind of programs. Zeal Benefits kind of plugs in and gives you a whole platform for letting that happen in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So the goal here is to already integrate with major payroll systems that businesses are already using. So there is no tech integration, right? HR already is a cost center for companies. We don't want to add more work to the plate, especially tech companies. So we want a solution that's already well vetted. Within nonprofits specifically, there's so many metrics that you need to be looking into, right? So what are organizations doing with those dollars? How do you follow up? How do you generate impact reports quarterly or weekly, daily, when updates happen? How are you actually referring that information back to the people who are donating? I know I've donated, over the holidays or sporadically throughout the year. And maybe I know where that money goes and how it actually makes a difference. But we're really focused on getting consistent streams of funding to organizations that really need it. And then also using tech to help do all the tracking so that people aren't just spending hours and hours reporting on what they're doing. We want to make it super easy. Tech has come so far, and there's so many innovative ways to streamline and kind of automate all that stuff. So we're really making it super simple. We're hoping to help educate along the way and really just inspire people to get involved. Eventually, we want to make regional boards in different areas where companies can elect board members from their companies to come together and actually choose what initiatives matter in their area and find the organizations and host some really big fundraisers on top of that. So really just getting communities involved regardless of where you work.
It sounds like you're going to create some great stories off the back of that as well. And those stories are going to feed that engine to create more change.
Yeah,
That sounds wonderful.
It all comes.
It sounds like one of those ideas where you think about, why haven't people done this before, which is the cornerstone of any good startup, isn't it?
Yes, and the thing is, they've just done it on such a huge enterprise corporate level. Or I'm here in the US, I've seen companies like this exist over in Europe or Canada, but the US is kind of late to the game. So we're really trying to push hard, because right now, I mean, everyone knows this is the time to take action. And especially for small businesses who, they want purpose, they want values within their organization, but depending on what their actual company does, it could be a distraction to, stop working on their own priorities and figure out this whole other part of the business. And we're here to help. I mean, look, for small companies or any company, if an employee leaves, that opportunity cost is huge. If one individual leaves, it can be up to 2 times the annual revenue, just as far as opportunity costs for that person to leave, hire, and then train that new person up. So if more than half of individuals are thinking about leaving companies because they're lacking purpose, that could be huge for small businesses. So we're really trying to find a way to just give them this fully vetted, super simple solution on a silver platter, just offer it up and let their employees start making a difference and make it super easy.
So if a HR director or HR manager is listening in and is going, this is the solution that I'm looking for, or I want to talk to Julia a little bit more about this, what's the action that they should do to reach out and talk to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So just go to zealbenefits.com and they'll find all the information there. They can even, sign up with their email to get subscribed to a newsletter to get updates pretty regularly on the offering, and sign up for a free trial and kind of see what that looks like.
Wonderful. That sounds really great, Julia. I'm really excited to see where this goes and, listen to some stories about lives that I'm sure that are going to be changed through, local lives. Yeah, local lives, probably international to me, but local to the employers that are out there.
Yes, and you know what term I love is Glocal. For those of you who haven't heard it, it's think globally, but act locally. So, the world is getting smaller. The internet is here. People are meeting you kind of stumble into people on the internet who are all over the world. So think big picture, but really start taking action in your own neighborhood. And we'll just, really tackle some big challenges from the ground up.
That's wonderful, Julie. We'll put a link to Zeal Benefits in the show notes. We'll also put a definition of Glocal in the show notes as well, because I think there's a term that more people should be using. I think so
good.
Too. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that. Maybe I'll do that as a word. What word should we be using more in our conversations? Julie, are you ready for some quick fire questions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fantastic. What's the app that you're using every day?
Yes. So I have a couple, actually. I use Headspace every day to meditate. Absolutely love it. And then for entrepreneurs, Strategizer is amazing. So it is a tool that lets you do and map out your business model in one sheet. So super easy to get just high-level organization around your business. Feedly is fantastic. It uses AI to prioritize articles, so you can keep track of industry trends, keywords, things like that from top sources. And then finally, Lunch Club is amazing. Networking is absolutely fundamental as an entrepreneur or just a professional. And Lunch Club does matchmaking globally for individuals for professional networking. So I've had some pretty amazing conversations through Lunch Club. I highly suggest everyone get on there.
We wouldn't be speaking if it wasn't for Lunch Club, Julie, because you know someone that was on it. They referred me to speak to you as well. Second time today that Feedly's been recommended to me. I have not heard about it before today, so I'll definitely check that out. Headspace I'm aware of. Strategizer, that sounds really great. I will certainly look at that, and I'll put the link in the show notes for everybody so that they can join in our shiny object syndrome and play around with all these new apps. Thanks for that,
Love
Julie.
it.
What's the book that you most recommend?
The Mom Test. So this is a great one. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's how to conduct customer interviews when you're vetting your business idea when everyone is lying to you. So the key when you're starting your business is to kill it as early as possible. Find the issues with your business before you invest all of your time and money. So you want to make sure when you're interviewing customers, you're asking the right questions, getting the right feedback. And this book walks you through it. There's another one called The Right It, which is why so many businesses fail. And both of those are super important when you're starting out.
There's some great recommendations there. Is this something that you did for Zeal Benefits, to ask people questions?
Yes.
Try to fail quickly?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful. Who's your favorite YouTuber or podcaster?
So I'm big into podcasts. The one I've listened to a lot over the last year was actually the Goop podcast, which is by Gwyneth Paltrow. Goop, yeah. So she brings on a lot of guests with various backgrounds. It is pretty high level, but it has allowed me to learn about things I didn't know about and then do my own research and dig into different topics and things. I actually just had a new podcast recommended to me called No Place Like Home. And it's personal storytelling, but all focused around climate change. So I'm currently getting into that one now too.
Some great recommendations there. I'm aware of Goop because there was a Netflix series based on be some of the people that she's interviewed, and I'm aware of some of the people on that. I didn't know she had a podcast, but that's really great, Julie. Thanks again for that. Who's a up and comer? Maybe someone in your network that you think might be the next Bezos, Huffington, or Musk?
Yes. So this one's tough. I don't know if the next Elon has made their mark yet. I think she is going to. Yes, she is planning her world takeover now. So if you're listening, start getting out there, girl. You're going to make a difference. But I did meet someone last week, a new mentor. His name is Tori Smith, and he's actually working on what he calls ass robots, which, apologies for the language, but it's hilarious. It's actually so innovative. He's creating these small pill robots with propellers that physicians can use to go in and do exploratory endoscopic surgeries, but without any technology. It's wild. So yeah, he's definitely got the space cowboy personality. So he might be in the interim the one, but yeah, I think the next Elon, she's out there planning her world takeover now.
She's listening to this podcast. That's the goal. That's the absolute goal with the JOD pod.
Yeah.
Julie, that's absolutely fantastic. So that we know about Zeal Benefits. Where's the best place for people to follow up with you and follow up with see your journey and follow your journey?
Yes, absolutely. So LinkedIn is the place. So I love to connect with people. I actually like to get to know everyone in my network. So if you want to reach out, please just send a little note, something about you, something about your story, maybe something you're working on, an idea you have, a challenge you have. I do my best to at least communicate with all people, whether it's through the messenger or setting up a quick, 10-minute chat. But I love connecting. I love people. People. Like, that is the point. So yeah, definitely reach out on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect.
Everything's about communication. Doesn't matter what the product is you're selling. It's getting people communicating. That's wonderful. There we have it. Julie Jackson is the founder of Zeal Benefits, a global workplace giving platform that makes social impact a no-brainer. They're on a mission to unite communities through corporate giving to make a collective difference towards climate change. Julie got her first client by interning, creating an event design and getting referrals in for her agency, Teeny Creative?
Teeny Creative, like Martine.
Teeny Creative?
Yes.
Like Martine. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I was a bartender for over 10 years, so, clever marketing. You got to go for it.
That makes sense. That makes sense. She recommended 4 apps that all budding entrepreneurs should be using. Headspace for meditation, Strategizer for strategy, Feedly for news and news management, and then Lunch Club for networking. Lots of good stories about Lunch Club. I look forward to getting involved in that myself. Reading-wise, Julie thinks that we should be reading the Mum Test, learning how to do really fantastic customer interviews and helping you fail your startup rather than spending too much time and hard-earned cash on that idea. Remember, everybody lies. Test, test, test. Julie loves listening to Gwyneth Paltrow's podcast, the Goop podcast. Some really interesting curveball guests on that I'm very aware of. And a new podcast, No Place Like Home, an interesting podcast around environmental change. We should be keeping an eye on you. That's yes, you. If you're listening to this podcast, you have got what it takes to take over the world. Just take some action and make it happen. And if it's not you, maybe we should be keeping an eye on Tory Smith with his startup Arse Robots.
That's not the name of the startup. That's just how he pitches it. Yes, it's.
I'll make it. We'll make it through the censors. He does it. I thought that was the name of his company.
No,
I thought that'd be a great name
that's
for his
how
company.
he pitches it. That's his hook. Like I'm telling you guys, you're out
well, I'm
there
hooked.
pitching your startup. You need a good hook. You need to get someone to ask, "What? Tell me more about that." Hook them in. Get them interested. That is his hook.
I'll pitch Tory to get on the JOD pod, and then we'll talk about Arse Robots some more. And you can check out Zeal Benefits. Go to their website, zealbenefits.com. That's ZEALBENEFITS.com. Fill out the form, leave your details there, and I'm sure Julie will be able to get in contact with you, and you'll be able to follow along on the newsletter. Also, check out Julie on LinkedIn. Share a story with her, share a problem that you're having, mention that you heard about Julie on the JOD pod. That's Julie Jackson. We'll share a link to your LinkedIn profile in the show notes. Julie, thank you so much for joining us today on the JOD pod.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today on the JOD pod for our interview with Julie. To ensure that you don't miss out on any of these inspiring conversations with founders, you need to play the YouTube game. Hit subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell so you get a notification every time we upload a new interview, and ask Julie a question in the comments below. She started 3 companies. She has, is looking to change the world through what she's doing with Zeal Benefits, with the Glocal environmentalism. Ask Julie some questions below. I will bully her to come back and answer every single one of them. Don't worry about that. And it'll help out this video, it will help out Julie, and it'll make that altruistic feedback loop make you feel so much better throughout your day. Please be inspired by what Julie's been speaking about today. Go out and build something for yourself and inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. Thanks for joining us today on the JOD pod. If you enjoyed this interview, why don't you check out some of these other interviews that we've done on the JOD pod. More inspirational CEOs, coaches, entrepreneurs, founders, and authors. I'm sure there's something here that will inspire you to build something new.